Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, exposing the fake news media, the Democrat propaganda, and giving you the real news, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And right after the show is the Wayne Dupree show. Starts at 8 o'clock. Down in the description below is the link for his show. So right after the show's over, you can jump over, watch Wayne Dupree. 2 hours of back-to-back nonstop information and news, exposing the propaganda and the fake news. And if this is first time been on the show, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you look in the description below, there's a couple of different links down there. One, there's a link to iHeartRadio if you want to listen to the show audio only. And underneath that, there's an app called Telegram. A lot of us are shadow banned on social media, so get the app Telegram, and you will always stay in touch with our show. You'll get a link to the show when it goes live every single day, as well as the show notes. And speaking about show notes, down in the description, there's a link that says full show notes. Click that link. That'll take you right over to newrightnetwork.com, where the show is embedded into the article of 3 pages of notes. And as you scroll through it, you can see all the great Patreons and all the great folks that help to contribute to the show, to make the show what it is. Click on their name. That'll take you directly to Twitter so that you can follow them. Start to build your following on Twitter. A lot of these folks will absolutely follow you back. Get involved. Now, when the water's warm, jump in. And a lot of the articles, too, that we talk about, Donald Trump and his tweets are also in the show notes as well, so you never miss a single moment of our president speaking to us in real time. And that's what's so awesome about being able to do this. I was speaking with the writers here earlier this morning, and folks, back during World War I, during the early 1900s, and the attempt of communists to overthrow America with Woodrow Wilson, our first communist president, all the way through World War II and Vietnam, and all the controversy and all the propaganda, all the fake news that's been out there, we don't realize how much fake news was out there, how much propaganda was out there until now. We are able to see in real time with technology, instantly bring you a full-blown 1-hour show exposing all the fake news. And that's what we do right here, guys, and give you the real news. Today, not like any other day, guys, I'm telling you, Flashback Friday, Friday Thoughts. Acosta resigns today. RKelly arrested in Chicago. We'll get into a lot of what's going on with that. New breaking information, not necessarily about Epstein, but about this sex trafficking and Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Acosta, and we're going to get into Alan Dershowitz. If you haven't heard, I'm going to give you my take. I'm going to play the video of Alan Dershowitz's interview with Laura Ingraham because I want you to hear it from him himself. And then I'll give you my take on what I think is really going on in the background. Epstein's Black Book, man, the names and the who's. We'll also get into immigration today. Some great news. Donald Trump taking extraordinary steps to help protect the children, unlike the Democrat Party. And then we'll round it out with pro-life news. Guys, we've got some great wins here for pro-life, conservative Christians. This is really good. The Republican Party leading the charge to saving the babies. Think about the babies. Democrats are always saying, what about the children? Well, we got that. We're trying to save them as you guys attempt to sell them. So we'll round out the show with some really, really good news. And so as we start to show off, I just want to kind of give a little heads up of what's going on. You guys, if you've been on my scopes and you've watched me scope a lot of times, I'll talk about a guy that I used to be involved with. I refer to him as Gen X. He's hardcore lib, real hardcore liberal. And we'd go back and forth with talking about politics and things like that. He's an amazing guitarist and had produced a song that was phenomenal. And again, if you guys seen some of the older shows, I've literally played the song in its entirety in the show. I think it's probably one of those songs that just, like the one-hit wonder that was just so out of the box thinking, was so great. And it's the kind of music that I love. And you guys have been listening to that sound clip, the intro to the show and the exit to the show. And I've just played about a minute of it from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. And you guys have been hearing that. I got a text from him last night, and he asked me to stop using the song. He couldn't stop me legally, but I said, you know what, just for the fact that you asked, I will stop using the song. But his reasoning for that was that somehow he felt that I was defending Jeffrey Epstein and saying that Epstein was somehow not a pedophile or something to the fact, and his relationships with Donald Trump. And I want to make absolutely clear, I bring this up because I want to make this absolutely crystal clear. Never have I ever, in my entire life, ever defended Jeffrey Epstein, ever. Never. He's a convicted pedophile. The guy is as awful gets. And we're going to get into some of the things going on. However, being a billionaire, and I said this the other day, being a billionaire, it is a very small circle. Y'all know each other. Being a millionaire is a little bit different, but being a billionaire, you all know each other and you all run in some of the circles and you run into each other. Donald Trump, knowing of these individuals, absolutely. Taking one single flight on Epstein's aircraft, one of the smaller ones, where it was just Epstein, Epstein's brother, and Donald Trump flying from Florida to New York. One time. And the picture that Fox News is putting out there, just absolutely despicable. The one picture that's circulating everywhere where it shows Trump, a beautiful woman, Epstein, and then another woman. That beautiful woman right next to Donald Trump was his girlfriend at the time and is now his wife. So Donald Trump, his wife, standing next to Epstein and Epstein's mistress, or her name, Maxwell. So this picture that's going around, Fox News is doing this. It's just absolutely reprehensible. And I'm telling you right now, there is no way. Look at people's past behaviors. Look at Donald Trump's past behaviors. There is no way that I could possibly think that Donald Trump was involved with all this stuff going on with Epstein. Yet we've got factual proof, pilots' logs showing that Bill Clinton flew Lolita Express 26, 27 times, a lot of those times with young girls on board, a lot of those times without Secret Service. I've spoken with Gary Burns, Secret Service agent who wrote the book, Crisis of Character. He was in the White House during the end of the Bush era and the beginning of the Clinton era. And he tells a tell-all book. You guys got to read Crisis of Character for sure. But yeah, you look at the character of those individuals. You look at what they're involved in and what they do. You look at their behaviors. And absolutely, there's no question in my mind that Bill Clinton being a part of these sex rings. There's no question about it. That's his behavior. That is not Donald Trump's behavior. And someone mentioned to me earlier, I'm sorry I'm going on a rant here, guys, but I got to get this off my chest. Someone was mentioning to me a little bit earlier, said that, well, Brian, I'm just really nervous. You know, Donald Trump, and, he's been married 5 times, or women here and women there. Donald Trump's a ladies' man. I'm just saying. I've dated a few women in my day. We're not here for a tell-all show, but I just said I've dated a handful of women in my day. It doesn't have anything to do, and it's completely opposite of what we're talking about here. The fact that Donald Trump likes women, the fact that Donald Trump enjoys being with women, and he's a ladies' man. Okay, that's cool. These are grown adult women. I'm talking about full-blown sex trafficking, slave trafficking. This is the evils and the soullessness of the Democrat Party, the godless party. Look at Donald Trump's behaviors now as compared to the past. He helped people out quietly behind the scenes in the past. He helped out the black community and did a lot of great things in the past. Now look at him, fast forward to the future. He is now working to help the Christian community with the likes that no president has ever done, fighting abortion, helping to promote Christianity, helping to get that out there. You have pastors and preachers praying over him, praying for him. I'm not saying that I know for a fact because you can't prove something that somebody didn't do. I can't prove a negative. It's just not. Prove to me Donald Trump didn't do it. How's that possible? You're asking me to prove a negative. I can prove a fact. I can prove of what somebody has done. And again, Gary Byrne says, look at the past of someone, and that's a good indicator of a prediction of the future. Okay, let's look at the Clintons' past. Even when he was governor of Arkansas, cheating on his wife and had mistresses coming in and out of the governor's office. It's just what it is. It's what they were involved with. Agents on the ground, people who worked in the government in Arkansas said, you guys don't understand how bad these people are. That's the stories coming out about the Clintons back in the day. Why is there a thing called a Clinton body count? I'm just saying, there's no Donald Trump body count. There's no law enforcement agency coming out saying how awful, wretched, and how bad Donald Trump's behavior in women and games and sex. No, there's nobody doing that. So we got to look at the big picture, pull back, and I just want to let you know that Jeffrey Epstein, fact, been accused, been prosecuted, fact, now rearrested, going to be prosecuted, hopefully not by James Comey's daughter. We don't know what the case is, but that's circling around that she's actually close to possibly being a prosecutor. And on a side note, I just want to throw this out there. If they do give Jeffrey Epstein 5 years for cooperating with them, and then that leads to prosecution of some of the big dogs that are involved in the sex ring, I'm good with that. I have no problem with that. However, what I'm saying is look at the people involved, look at the players involved, look at their past, look at their history, good indicator of predicting their future. And Donald Trump never guys. He's never been. Look at the Clintons. Look at the Obamas. How are they not? All four of them. How are none of them allowed to practice law anymore? Their law license, all of them suspended, revoked. How? Come on. Let's look at Donald Trump. I got nothing. I don't even know if he's ever been arrested. God, what are we talking about here? 500 businesses and filed bankruptcy 3 times. That's a pretty damn good record. Making decisions like a boss up there on Capitol Hill. That's his record. That's what he was in the past. That's how he became so rich. Come on, man. All right. So thank you for letting me get that off my chest. Sorry, guys. But that's my whole point. And I'll no longer be able to use that song anymore. So we'll move over to another song. We'll get something that's it's better suited for the show. But anyways, guys. All right, getting into the show. You're listening to New Right Network's original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith. We're going to talk about Trump. Got some great Trump news. Talk about the economy. Got some great stuff we're going to get into right now. And this, our good friend at Navy Wife Allison, great patriot to follow. Democrats divide and destroy America. This to a meme with Trump stepping over into North Korea. And it says, Trump crosses into North Korea. The Democrats finally protest a border crossing. And this at S. Kramer BYU _82 replied to Allison saying, Allison, that's about as perfect a statement as it could be made and has become good versus evil. Republicans, capitalism, tax cuts 2.0, abolish MS-13, build the wall, legal immigration, implement voter ID, support the president. Democrats, socialism, raise taxes, abolish ICE, open borders, illegal immigration, allow illegals to vote, impeach the president. I don't think it could be any more clear than it is right here, guys. And this is what we're railing against. We're railing against the socialist ideologies. Capitalism has saved more human beings and all of human existence, ripped them out of poverty with the likes that we've never seen. There is no single ideology that has done what capitalism has done ever in all of human existence. And when you couple capitalism with Christianity, giving it a moral compass, you have an undeniably strong ability to really transform your culture, transform your world into a good, positive, uplifting, freeing kind of economy. And when people say that, oh, Brian, those fat cats, dabbling, they're mixing with corporations and government and stuff like that, crony capitalism. Like, nah, there ain't no such thing as crony capitalism. I've been saying this for decades. The moment that the government gets involved in capitalism, it immediately becomes socialism. There is no crony capitalism because that doesn't work. It's like an oxymoron. It's like saying it's icy hot. What do you mean? It's ice cold or it's fire hot? What are you talking about? They both burn, but in different ways. Come on. And this at DizzyMom64. How great is this? Congratulations to the happy couple for richer or for poorer to make America great again. Couple holds Trump-themed wedding. This at thehill.com. This is America, and this is what we're talking about at CIG_King James. This is one man worth supporting. He will make a good difference for the republic. Faith and family, God and country, service before self, John James. And this article by Breitbart.com, John James raises $1.5 million in less than a month. This is a great patriot and a veteran to boot. His skin happens to be a little bit darker than mine, which kind of gets the liberals a little bit triggered. How can you possibly be a darker skinned individual living in America, living under Trump, and support the president? Yeah, it's called Blexit. Hashtag walk away. Hashtag Blexit. Guys, you do not have to support the Democrat Party because of your skin color, because of your religion or your ideology. It's time to walk away, and we are having a huge impact because the Democrats are literally running away and dumping, thinking that they got the black community in the bag, that they got the Jewish community in the bag, because it's been that way for decades, and going all in on illegal immigration. Democrats, you're losing Mexicans. When I say Mexicans, you're losing legal immigrants coming from South America, whether it be Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, whatever, legally migrated to America, now working good jobs, supporting their family. You really got them people triggered by you guys supporting illegal immigration because it's damaging their abilities to secure a good job. This is the Democrat Party. 2020, you guys, there's just no way you're going to win this one. It's just not possible. And then our good friend at Robert Dunlop 947, Dow Jones crosses 27,000 mark for the first time in history. Mine and your 401k is kicking ass. Who's not tired of winning? Anyone voting to stop this momentum is an idiot and should be thrown out of the United States. Hold my wand, Obama. Sit down. I can't say it enough, guys. The silent killer to communism, the silent killer to socialism and to the ideologies of the Democrat Party is deregulation. Regulation destroys success and capitalism. Regulations are rules and laws implemented by unelected officials. Should never be Donald Trump working tirelessly to remove these burdensome regulations out of our economy so that we can get moving forward. Just a great thing going on. Just here locally, there was a bridge that just crossed over the freeway, just a 4-lane freeway, just a bridge, no big deal, an overpass. Took them 5 years to build that bridge. At the same time, my grandfather and your grandfathers secured freedom in World War II. Fighting at World War, and you guys took 5 years to complete an overpass over 4 lanes. It's not that high. It's not a big overpass, just a regular normal overpass, 5 years. I blame regulations and I blame the unions. And speaking about blaming people, I got to bring it up. It was trending last night, and I didn't have a chance to talk about it, but Paul Rhino Ryan apparently has written a new book blasting Donald Trump, saying he had no idea how government works. Yeah, he's never been a government man. You've lived your entire life. You got rich, you fat cat rich, super elites, thumbing your nose at the common man, never creating anything for anybody else other than yourself, Paul Rhino Ryan, to enrich yourself and enrich your other cronies. Donald Trump working his entire life, hiring people, paying people, creating jobs. This is Donald Trump's record of creating jobs and building businesses and doing great things in America. So for those of you who don't like Donald Trump for whatever reason, you can't negate the fact that he has been an incredible force for the good, for positive in America, not you fat cats and elected officials. Paul Rhino Ryan, the Jeff Flakes, the McCains of the world, be done with you. The Obamas, the Clintons, the Bushes, be done with all y'all. Y'all live in the same circle, in the same bubble, insulated. Donald Trump bursting your bubble, Paul Rhino Ryan, taking at least a year and a half to get his head wrapped around what the hell is going on in D.C. He now, coming up on year 3, now has full grasp of everything going on in D.C., got the people in place that need to be in place, getting rid of people that need to be gotten rid of. And we'll talk about Acosta here in a minute. But Donald Trump blasting out on Rhino Ryan last night. And this at real Donald Trump. Paul Ryan, the failed VP candidate and former Speaker of the House, whose record of achievement was atrocious, except during my first 2 years as president, ultimately became a long-running lame duck failure, leaving his party in the lurch, both as fundraiser and leader. When Mitt chose Paul, I told people that's the end of that presidential run. He quit Congress because he didn't know how to win. They gave me standing O's in the great state of Wisconsin and booed him off stage. He promised me the wall and failed. Happening anyway. He had the majority and blew it away with his poor leadership and bad timing. Never knew how to go after the Dems like they go after us. Couldn't get him out of Congress fast enough. You guys saw it. If you were watching that just a failed campaign thing, Paul Rhino Ryan was sent to Cincinnati to trick the Tea Party members. This is back in the day when the Tea Party had a movement. To trick us into believing that he was a Tea Party member. We were on the fence about it, not quite sure how it was going. Never heard of the guy before until this happened. And now, becoming Speaker of the House after John Boehner walked away. Good riddance to that crybaby. This is what we got to do, guys. Donald Trump hijacking the Republican Party and cleaning up the party. Not only draining the swamp in D.C., but also draining the swamp in the Republican GOP party. And thank you, absolutely, Donald Trump and at GOP chairwoman Ronna McDaniels. Just phenomenal how we are moving this party forward in the right direction. Guys, now has never been a better time to get involved. Become a precinct committeeman, run for office, run locally, just run for anything at any given time here for 2020 and say you're on Trump's team. Now be careful. There are people saying that are not, and we've exposed them here on this show. But say you're on Trump's team, show him a winning record. I'm telling you guys, there's a very good chance that you'll win. And to help keep America great, that's what we do here every single night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. And Donald Trump blasted out on creepy Uncle Joe Biden as well. This, our good friend at MAZURIKL, extremely stable genius. Our president is a strong leader and very smart businessman. That being said, NATO is finally starting to pay their share and trade is becoming fair again. Thank you at Real Donald Trump for making America great, and you have our support to keep America great. This video by Breitbart News.
NATO. No, tell Biden that NATO has taken total advantage of him and President Obama. They took it. We were paying for almost all of NATO. We're protecting countries. Those countries have to protect themselves with us. They have to make a contribution. In my first year, I raised over $100 billion from those countries. Biden didn't know what the hell he was doing, and neither did President Obama. NATO was taken advantage of. Now they're paying. They still owe us a lot of money. Biden doesn't know about that. He just thinks stupidly we do. NATO is fine, but they have to pay their way. The United States is not going to get killed on trade with Europe. Europe kills us on trade, which we're changing. And Europe then kills us because we defend Europe. And we lose a tremendous amount of money. So we lose on trade and the military. President Obama and Vice President Biden, they didn't have a clue. They got taken advantage of by China, by NATO, by every country they did business with.
Absolute fact. Joe Biden, globalist. Barack Obama, a globalist. The Bush family, globalist. I was talking with one of the writers over at New Right Network, and guys, going all the way back to World War I, the great-grandfather of the Bush family, involved in the government and appointed to a newly formed department by our first communist president, Woodrow Wilson. And the department was to oversee, wartime department, to oversee business production, what should be produced, what shouldn't be produced, and how businesses should operate during wartime. That is so horribly wrong in a capitalist society. Absolutely wrong. But that's where the Bushes get their start in the government. And then you got Papa Bush being CIA director. Guys, I'm just saying it's a globalist agenda. It's a uniparty agenda. The old Republicans joining with the Democrats. And now we're starting to root that out. And right here, we expose these people for who they are. The Paul Rhino Ryans, the Jeff Flakes, the McCains, all of them working in unison with Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and obviously Biden as well. And as we fight the fake news agenda, their agenda attempting to tag President Donald Trump with some scandal, something to wreck his administration, to wreck the economy, Bill Maher, to wreck everything that is good and great and happening in America. The things you and I love, they want to wreck that, to make us upset, and to blame Donald Trump for that. And we are not allowing that to happen. Right here, folks, SmythTV. Jump over to Smyth.tv, become a Patreon, help us get the real news out. It has never been more critical than it is now for you to get involved and to help us continue to put the show on Monday through Friday, help us continue to get the real news out and help Donald Trump's re-election 2020. Fake scandal at Jake Palmieri, definitely one to follow, and also the PalmieriReport.com. Video proof of another hoax against @Real Donald Trump. Watch video proves Trump staffer forcibly kissing claim was a hoax. The video clearly shows, one, she wasn't forced. Two, it was a side peck on the cheek, like the French do it. She claimed it was on the mouth. Absolute total lie. Total hoax. They're attempting to paint Donald Trump as somebody that he's not. They've been doing it from the very beginning all the way back to 2015, 2016 run, the October surprise, and the videotape of Billy Bush. Go figure, another Bush family. Billy Bush and Donald Trump caught on a hot mic, and Trump saying, grab them in the posse. When you're rich, you pretty much get away with anything. That's true. When you're rich, you pretty much do get away with anything, for the most part. I'm talking about women. Women throw themselves at you. Why do us guys want to work so hard all our lives? Because we want the women. That's what we do. Why do we want to become rock stars? Why do we want to become rich? Because the women are attracted to that. Come on now. Speaking truth to power, Donald Trump. So you can see another fake hoax, and Donald Trump is not what they say he is. We show you right here on the show and expose it for what it is. This is who Donald Trump is. At @land_Terry, another great patriot to follow. Thank you, POTUS Trump, for fighting to save #the children in child trafficking. Pizzagate, Planned Parenthood, build the wall. Fact, 800,000 children disappear every year in the U.S. one every 40 seconds. If you believe this is fake news, you're part of the problem. I know the Pizzagate thing. You guys, if you've been hanging around with me and hanging out with me for over the years, you know that we went to Pizzagate. We went to Comet Pizza in D.C. Before we went in, we said a prayer to Christ Almighty for protection as we went in, not knowing what we were getting ourselves into. A very disgusting and creepy, unsettling establishment, to say the least. Other than that, I got nothing to report. No fact, got nothing. Okay, guys? The owner of Comet Pizza, yeah, pretty big pedo. That's who he is. Other than that, I don't have fact to report on. So that is what it is. Let's report on fact and what's really going on with the Democrat Party. What's really going on with the pedophiles. And the reason why I throw out the Democrat Party is because they are the godless, the soulless party, taking God and Christ out of their platform, supported, funded by the murder, abortionist, Planned Parenthood. We got some great news. Again, I was going to tell you, we'll talk about it at the end of the show, some great news coming out about pro-life agenda. I'm extremely happy. We are polar opposites now. The Democrats and the Republicans are polar opposites. And as we talk about this as well, Acosta resigns. Yes. Big news today. Acosta did, well, they were saying that he was going to resign. He now, a Friday dump, resigns in the heavy heat and all the backlash that he's been taking for being involved in and around the plea deal with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. I'm going to get into some of the details and some of the facts. My take on the whole thing is, though, because we've already reported on Jeffrey Epstein, we don't need to go over the Epstein thing all over again, but the facts are the Democrats are going after him like they went after Kavanaugh. If they can find somebody, I mean, even during Acosta's nomination, and we'll get into some of the articles, great article over at New Right Network down in the show notes, Ada Nestor, incredible article. Follow her over at Anonymous Ada on Twitter. All the links are down there in the description. He's just got caught up in a situation and they're taking full advantage of it. Why not? Never let a crisis go to waste. Remember, guys, this is their agenda. And this over at newrightnetwork.com by Ada Nestor. Breaking, Acosta steps down as LaborSecretary. And then there's a timeline, so you want to go through all this. It's incredible. She puts down a whole timeline of how this thing kind of came together and why this is happening now. But President Trump announces Acosta resignation. Update July 12 at 11:02 a.m. Editors note this is a developing story with multiple day and time stamps. Acosta involved in sweetheart deal was an integral part of the earlier case against Epstein that resulted in a plea agreement for a felony that required him to register as a sex offender, serve 18 months, in which he only served 13, most of which under a work release program negotiated after Acosta's involvement, program that Alexander Acosta called BS during his press conference on Wednesday. Two presidentials approved sweetheart deal. Many individuals involved in a sweetheart deal, so placing all the responsibility at the feet of one prosecutor seems reckless and irresponsible. Absolutely, there were multiple facets of this thing, but because Acosta is where he is, and he is who he is, and Epstein coming to light, Bill Clinton coming to light, all these people coming to light, the Black Book, naming Nadler, naming Adam Schiff. Guys, this is how they roll. They get control and power over the people that they are involved with. There's going to be video footage of all this stuff because Epstein has been known to secretly record all these powerful players around the world, even the prince, as they're involved in these debaucheries and orgies and acts, and people are scared. So why not go after Donald Trump, flip the script? This is just what they do, guys. They do this all the time, and we know this, and we expose this. So yes, it started under Bush's administration for the federal side of this, and then it continued and was finished up under Barack Obama under the federal side. we can only speculate who's in names that are in the black book, but, I don't know. Barack Obama, maybe the Bushes, I don't know. Who knows? That's just speculation for right now. But we definitely know from flight logs that Bill Clinton flew on Lolita Express to the private orgy island up to 27 times. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Trump took one flight on a smaller aircraft, not the big Lolita Express, smaller aircraft, from Florida to New York, and that was it. And there's only 3 people on board: Epstein, Epstein's brother, and Trump. I'm just stating the facts. You can hate me all you want, you lefties, but that's the facts. So Glenn Beck floated a conspiracy that Acosta was pulled aside and told Epstein is working with CIA, working with government, working with something, and you got to let him go. The conspiracy that CIA flew him around the world to blackmail world leaders. Here's a big problem. I was talking to my cousin about this morning. The big problem with that conspiracy theory is that he would never have done prison time. He would never have been convicted and done prison time. It just would not have happened. This is under Bush. This is under Obama. It would have been let go. You saw how Obama used and abused the CIA under Brennan, the FBI later then under Sally Yates and Loretta Lynn. I'm just saying, they had the whole thing sealed up. So if they wanted blackmail on all these world leaders, Epstein would have never have been arrested. That's my first thought on that. Loretta Lynch would have protected him. And obviously Brennan would have absolutely protected him. Clapper and the likes, they would have all protected the whole situation. So I'm not buying that one too much on that conspiracy theory. And I also had a discussion with a former rape victim. She opened up to me and she talked to me about how the situation went as dealing with court. And she said that when she was going to court, it was just really, really bad. And a lot of these rape victims never come out. Now we're finding Epstein's got up to Jane Doe 102 in the sex slave trade. But she was saying as she went to court, the prosecuting attorney made a plea deal with the rapist and never consulted her. And that was it. It was done. Let go. Be done. I know similar cases, similar situations. Not including rape, but when talking about it, stolen equipment. Guys, every single situation is different. Every judge is different. Every prosecuting attorney is different. And we see all kinds. There was a situation that came after me back in college, accused of grand theft. Happened to be a small radio that was in the attic of the house that we were renting out. Wasn't none of ours, but it was there when we moved in. So we used the radio out on the porch for our parties, and I just kept it in my room. I didn't want to go all the way to the attic. Prosecuting attorney coming after me with viciousness, hardcore, for over a year, interviewing and prosecuting my friends and people around me. Finally, the day came where everybody got to speak. The landlord, his lying sons, both of them contradicted each other up on the stand because they were lying. Come to find out, they had taken the radio because it was left there from a former tenant. So it's all just a complete falling apart. All my friends up there testifying, and then the last one to testify was me. I took the stand and I sewed all my stories together so that everything made sense to the jury. At one point in time, I looked at the judge. I said, Your Honor, I'm trying to answer the question, but she keeps yelling at me. Can you? And the judge looked at the prosecuting attorney and told her, quit yelling at the defendant. It was all over with, went outside. My attorney said, my public pretender said, it might take a couple hours. It might not be until tomorrow, but you can hang out for a while and see what happens. Less than an hour. I think it was like 15 minutes. The jury deliberated, came back, not guilty on all charges. Prosecuting attorneys are different in all cases. I'm just saying. There was another case that I talked about with some friends out in Los Angeles. You might remember this one. The chief firefighter, who's a black man and former in Los Angeles, would refer to himself as the big dog. Oh, woo, woo. I'm the big dog, and playing basketball with all the firefighters and everybody. And he would just get real loud and crap talk to everybody. Feed the dog, feed the dog. And not only that, but he played jokes on people and trick people into things and do all kinds of pranks and stuff like that. And so the guys at the house, some black, some white, played a trick on him, put dog food in the dinner. And as he took a bite of the dog food in the dinner, they all broke up laughing and then told him, and he spit it out, so never ate it. Filed a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles. $5 million lawsuit against the city of Los Angeles. City of Los Angeles settled the case. Like that. Done. Nope. Whoa, we're not touching this. The people got so fired up and said, no, you are going to try this case. So then it went back to court and they then retried the case. They settled $2.5 million that they settled. That's what he got to retire in a lap of luxury. I hope you've blown all the money. I hope that you're barely making. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. But then the attorneys come out and said, for the state, said, you know what, guys, we spent $10 million prosecuting both of these cases. If we would have settled in the first place for $5 million, we would have saved ourselves $5 million. But then I'm telling you guys, cases are different everywhere. So to blame Acosta alone is absolutely wrong. And this, our good friend at Jolly_Cat, C-A-T. Very important to remember, Jeffrey Epstein gave Clinton $4 million to start the Clinton Foundation. Also important to remember, Bill Clinton flew on Lolita Express 27 times, Hillary Clinton 6, and visited Epstein's orgy island as well. Facts matter. A billionaire sex offender Epstein once claimed he was the co-founder of the Clinton Foundation. This article at foxnews.com. And this at Ed is back, KAG 2020. When the hell is this coming? ? It's odd, surreal. Billionaire Epstein indicted for sex trafficking. Not one march, not one riot, not one #MeToo event. That speaks volumes, folks. Think about that. The #MeToo movement was started on the left. That's the Democrats, bread and butter. That's what they do. Start the BLM, Black Lives Matter, start the walk on Wall Street, and #MeToo movement. Where are they? Where are the posse hat women? Hey, Madonna, all you women out there screaming and yelling for women's rights, where are you now? And as I told you earlier in the show, we talk about bring back up Alan Dershowitz. Folks, if you're accused, that's one of the worst things as a man, to be accused of, rape, of, child trafficking. It's awful. It's awful that you're accused, especially if you didn't do it. I don't know the facts in the case. It has not been tried in court yet. We are not trying it here on the show. Fox News is attempting to try the case and help out their good buddy, Alan Dershowitz. What do you want me to say? But this is a clip. He went on Laura Ingram's show. And let me just play this and see what you guys think.
Well, I am going to. I have to do two things. One, defend the First Amendment right of every American to respond to false charges. And second, if the case does go to court, to show that she is a liar. Let me repeat categorically. She made up the whole story. I never met this woman. It was part of an extortion plot to obtain $1 billion from Leslie Wexner. Her own lawyer admitted to me on tape that it would be impossible for me to have been in the various locations at those times, and that his client is, quote, wrong, simply wrong.
Does she have that same lawyer that you said you have on tape? Is he still representing her?
Yes. Oh, yeah. This same woman who accused Bill Clinton and Al Gore and Tipper Gore of being on Jeffrey Epstein's island, and the reports of the Secret Service.
Bill Clinton did go to the island, right? Yeah, Bill Clinton did.
No, he was never on the island.
But he never went on the. He was never there ever.
No, he was never there. He issued a statement the other day saying he was never on the island, and Secret Service records confirmed that he was never on the island.
There was discrepancies, though, Alan. Wait. There was discrepancies on other.
She claimed that Alan Tipper Gore were on the island. Not only did Alan Tipper Gore not know Jeffrey Epstein, but guess who Al Gore's lawyer was? David Boies, the same lawyer who claims that this woman made these improper sexual allegations. He could easily have just called his client, Al Gore, and said, Al, were you ever on Jeffrey Epstein's island? And he would have told her what he's told everybody else. No, he was never on the island. He didn't know her at all. The interesting thing is that Epstein is being prosecuted now, and they're not using this witness. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office are not using this witness.
Does she have that same lawyer that you said you have on tape? Is he still representing her?
Yes. He has absolutely no credibility, but in this case, he knows that his client made up the whole story, and he told me that, and I have it on tape. All I did was repeat, basically on tape.
Does she have that same lawyer that you said you have on tape? Is he still representing her?
Yes.
Epstein.
No, I stopped representing him when the deal was made, and I never met this woman. She made it up completely.
Does she have that same lawyer that you said you have on tape? Is he still representing her?
Yes.
Multiple problems with this, Alan Dershowitz. I'm so sorry to say, but there are multiple problems. Attacking this woman for being of age, working for Epstein. No, they didn't work. They were slaves. Yeah, maybe get paid, but they were sex slaves. Come on, Alan. And then now you're defending Bill Clinton, saying he never went to the island? I got some problems with what you're saying now, Alan Dershowitz. Let this try out in court and see how this goes. Whatever, Alan, whatever. And in case you didn't know, the woman has accused, and I brought this up earlier this week, the woman has accused it and said that during one of the flights that Alan was on, that she was told to service Alan Dershowitz. He was part of that. And then wrapping it all up, RKelly has now been arrested. This at the New York Times, arrested in Chicago, accused of child pornography, incitement of minors, and obstruction of justice. Will be taken back to New York State. So there's a lot of this stuff that's just blowing up and coming out. And as we wrap things up, let's get into some better let's get into some better news. I'm done with this. Man, I gotta go take a shower after doing that segment. Good God. At breaking 911, breaking news, ICE raids have already begun in California's Bay Area, immigration attorney says. And this at Just Say Truth Now, responding to Ilhan Omar, because apparently she doesn't know her job. Linda Evans tweets out, it's not the Trump's administration that can pass immigration reform. Congress writes and amends laws. The POTUS signs them into law. So it's you and your constituents who need to get immigration reform fixed. Are uneducated people like you the best Speaker Pelosi can do? And it's not only Ilhan Omar who's got a problem. Nadler's got a pretty big problem himself. This at Representative Doug Collins. After Dems denied the border crisis for months, Nadler today claims there's child abuse and neglect, homicide, and systematic torture of children at the border. It's incredible. Dems oppose efforts to end the crisis, then misrepresent it and blame shift when POTUS offers solutions. And this at Jake Palmieri, wow, at Real Donald Trump announces his way of getting around the census ruling. Can someone ask the Dems if citizenships matter to them? And this is his article at thepalmierireport.com. And the White House tweeted this out of Donald Trump.
Today I will be issuing an executive order to put this very plan into effect immediately. I am hereby ordering every department and agency in the federal government to provide the Department of Commerce with all requested records regarding the number of citizens and non-citizens in our country. They must furnish all legally accessible records in their possession immediately.
And this at Ohio_Buckeye_US, while AOC protects illegal aliens, patriots, let's keep our men and women of ICE and DHS in our prayers. They are risking their lives to protect American citizens. To report illegal aliens, call Immigration Customs Enforcement ICE 866 DHS 2 ICE. That's 866-347-2423. You got to do what you got to do. Thank you, Donald Trump, for making a big difference. They're fighting him on the border wall. He's building the border wall. They're fighting on him on immigration. He's going to get that. He's going to find out. He's going to figure out who's legal and who's not legal in this country, demanding departments, and he can do this, executive order, demanding departments give documentation on legality of citizens. Guys, we've got to continue to support this president and his efforts. If there was ever a time to get behind a president, it would be now behind Donald Trump. And I know you guys on the show, you guys are all on board. There may be a troll or two who might be passing by. Hey, troll. This is why we're on with Donald Trump. This is why hashtag Blexit, hashtag walk away, hashtag Jexit. This is why that is so popular, because Donald Trump is doing for the American people what the politicians should be doing. This is literally criminals that are politicians. Nadler saying the DHS is systematically abusing children, killing them on the border. It's so wrong. You Democrats, you're gaslighting your entire party, and this will end very bad. It's going to end bad for you, and it's going to end bad for the American people. Some of these crazies that you guys are triggering out there that are part of your base, the crazed fringe base, might just go out there and shoot somebody. It's happened before. You guys triggered that one guy that went out there and said, shoot the Republicans practicing baseball. God bless Steve Scalise, shot and still in office. It could have ended horribly wrong. And something else on a side note on that, the reason why the shooter was killed so quickly is because Steve Scalise was there. He wasn't supposed to be there, but he's got Secret Service detail. None of the others did. If it would have been a bloodbath if Steve Scalise wasn't there. But because he had detail was able to jump into action and kill the shooter right away. And Donald Trump, our pro-life president, our pro-Christian president, just doing some incredible things for the American people. I'm going to show you a video clip. This is a clip from Fox News, but guys, this is old news. You know it. James O'Keefe from Project Veritas has already put this out, and this is at MCCBY Faith. Planned Parenthood is evil. Planned Parenthood is selling baby parts and describes in a way that is not perceived as selling parts and making money off of it. We are good at getting heart, lung, liver, and not crush the baby. Sick. Everyone should watch this. This started out, we already know about this. People are trying to shut down James O'Keefe, trying to shut down these videos, trying to negate the fact. However, a judge in Texas has ruled based on Project Veritas and the information being put forward that the state of Texas can legally stop all funding to Planned Parenthood. It's now making its round to Fox News. Okay, so it's making mainstream now. That's great. It's great that it's at least in mainstream. I'm not bitter or angry about it, but definitely give our good friend James O'Keefe credit for investigative journalism about this stuff. And here's the victory that I am talking about at Linda for America. Huge victory for the pro-life movement. Court rules President Donald J. Trump can partially defund Planned Parenthood. The Trump administration will cut almost $60 million in tax funding from Planned Parenthood. Yes, it said partially, but it's moving in the right direction, guys. It should be fully defund Planned Parenthood. But again, it's moving in the right direction. $60 million. That's a lot of money that the Democrats won't see. Out of Texas, Democrats won't see the money. Out of Ohio passing the heartbeat bill. Ohio doing some great things that Democrats won't see money coming from Planned Parenthood. So we're moving. States are moving in the right direction, and I'm absolutely thrilled about it, guys. So we got to just keep pushing forward and don't let up on the gas. And yesterday at the White House, Donald Trump's social summit at Lilla Grace Rose, big tech CEOs have testified before Congress that their social platforms don't discriminate based on political views.
Also joined by someone affected by this troubling bias very, very much, and president of Live Action, and somebody I've watched really with great admiration. Lila, please come up. Lila Rose. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you for doing this important summit. I represent Live Action. I'm the founder and president, and we are a pro-life organization which reaches millions of people every week with the truth about abortion and human dignity. We have been for 4 years banned from doing any advertising on Twitter, and they told us that in order to reinstate our accounts, we'd have to stop calling for the defunding of Planned Parenthood and stop sharing our pro-life content. Meanwhile, Planned Parenthood and other abortion groups continue to advertise. Last month, we were permanently suspended from Pinterest, and they accused us of spreading conspiracy theories and misinformation with our pro-life content with no evidence. And then news media groups picked up the narrative and spread it around. Meanwhile, abortion groups, including abortion clinics, post freely on Pinterest. And then recently, our videos have been viewed more highly than almost any other abortion-related content on YouTube. But YouTube, we made it to the first page of search results, but YouTube buried our pro-life videos and boosted pro-abortion videos. So this double standard and bias is a growing problem in big tech. Even though they say that they are politically neutral and they don't discriminate, they even testified before Congress and said that. So thank you so much to the administration and to you, Mr. President, for holding this very important summit. Thank you.
And this at GS Tech 74. Oh, little snowflakes have Twitter didn't get invited, so they shut it down. Screenshotting from Parler, if you want to follow Laura Loomer over on Parler at Laura Loomer. Breaking 5 minutes before President Trump's social media summit at the White House today. Twitter shut down users' abilities to post on Twitter and view tweets. Twitter is literally censoring the White House summit on social media censorship in real time. President Trump must act now. Twitter is officially silencing President Trump and the White House. This is criminal behavior on behalf of big tech. Hashtag stop the bias. That's true, guys. It was unbelievable. I went over to Twitter while I was doing a show prep and I was working. I was trying to get things done. And it said, oops, something went wrong. Twitter literally shut its doors to its users so that we couldn't be on social media. This is what we're fighting, guys. This is the left. It's never been more clear than it is now. The Democrats, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, all of the big techs out in Silicon Valley, in the pockets of the Democrat Party, in the pockets of Planned Parenthood, one agenda, total and utter control of the system. If Donald Trump hadn't won in 2016, it would have been total control of the system. It would be 1984 all over. Not even here in America. It'd be 1984 all over the world. So we got to keep speaking out and speaking up, banding together, you and I, working together to get out the real news. Folks, there has never been a more critical, crucial time to jump over to Smyth.tv, become a Patreon, help us to continue to providing great content, real news, exposing the fake news, breaking news every single day. This is New Right Network's original series, Smyth TV. Your host, Brian Smith. I'm telling you guys, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8. And I'm telling you, this is where it's at. This is where it's at. Continue to share the show. Thank you again. And then right after the show, 8 o'clock, Wayne Dupree comes on. So 2 hours of back-to-back incredible information, great analysis, exposing the fake news and giving you the real news every single day. And again, we've got some great stuff. Thank you, Donald Trump, for championing the little people. Thank you for this incredible economy just booming and blossoming and continue to moving forward. Thank you for championing Christians and Judeo-Christian values and stopping Planned Parenthood. You've got to stop this abortion mill. It's out of control. And again, James O'Keefe, thank you, sir, for doing your job and helping out, doing the heavy lifting and investigative journalism and showing and exposing the fake news, exposing the Democrat Party, and giving the real news. All right, guys, have an incredible day. Enjoy the rest of your night with your friends and your families for Freedom Friday. Peace out. I'll see you guys next week.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.